All right, guys, so we all know that I'm a fan of using phones to record on the channel. Well, this intro to this video is on the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra's cameras, and a quick conversation about the battery, but I've been using these cameras to record on the channel since I got the device. And I wanted to make a video just kind of highlighting why I think they're probably the best cameras in the game for recording as a creator. They're so versatile. And a lot of people really feel like the iPhone has the better video. And in some situations, it honestly does. I feel like HDR video is always going to be better on the iPhone for some reason, especially outdoors. But overall, in this video, I want to talk about why I feel like the S24 Ultra has a complete set of cameras for a person who's going to create, take care of family events, anything along those lines. And I'm going to talk about using these cameras after 8 months. Almost 9 months. Wow. So this is the S24 Ultra's cameras. And now let's get into this video. I'm going to bring it to you now. And this video has been recorded by the iPhone 16 Pro, just so you know, with an external microphone. Let's go. First and foremost, these are some of the best cameras in the game, period. I've used these sets of cameras to record so many things on both of my channels and just take photos and everything. It's just been great. It's just been a phenomenal run, and I just don't see it getting any worse for Samsung. And I've used these cameras for so many things, and I've always said that Samsung's camera suite is one of the best in the game. I stand true to this. I stand on my word for that. I'm telling you, look at what you get in here for a camera suite compared to other OEMs with their camera suite. And not only is this one of the best camera suites out there, like the software or whatever, these are some of the best cameras in the game. I can record so many things with this phone. You wouldn't even believe it was coming from a phone unless I went on ahead and reminded you. Yeah, I recently put out a video on the S24 Plus, and I shot video of one of my cars or whatever. And, you know, it's astonishing. People just, if I didn't tell you, you wouldn't know it was from a phone. That's how good Samsung's cameras are. And again, reminder, I know there are other phones out there that are imports that will probably kill this phone in cameras, but we're not talking about them. Heck, even OnePlus does better than this phone in some areas of the camera. And that's my OnePlus Open. It kills. It does great. Nonetheless, this is the camera suite, and this is where I pretty much live. Like with this phone, if I'm not making phone calls or texting or emailing, this is pretty much the usage that I'm getting from this phone. It's up on this camera mount that I have the iPhone 16 Pro on right now, or it's on one of my other tripods. It's somewhere being used to film or photo something. Any kind of big family event, this is the phone I grab because I can control it with the S Pen. That's one of the best things I really love. And if I don't want to control it with the S Pen, I can use my hand gestures to take photos, start video. But this has been my go-to. Like if I were to show you the album in here, the complete album, you would see things all the way back. Like, whoa, you know, that's the beginning of the year, and I guess it was a family function. I guess it was a gathering. Oh, that was someone's birthday. I put this on a tripod, and it goes to work. It goes to work. So you've got Expert, Raw, Pro. Pro Video is where it's one of my things that I go to. I don't use night, food, or panoramic. I don't really use slow motion. Hyperlapse, I've used that, which is basically time lapse. I've used that a few times. Portrait video is the number one reason that I click on this inside of this area here. It's the number one reason. Dual record, only did that to just you know, show somebody or just kind of flex for a second. Don't use single shot, and I obviously use portrait. But portrait video is where I live, period. This is in fact and look, you can see things I've done. Like it's just a bunch of content being recorded with this. Look at how beautiful this content is. This was my B-roll when I was recording the video that you've already watched from your favorite YouTuber. This was the S24 Plus's B-roll because I use the S24 to do that entire video, and I use this phone to do the B-roll. So, you know, if you're a person who's into vlogging and you really love good cameras, well, you've got the ability let's get out of here. You got the ability to take a 200 megapixel photo. I could put up 200 megapixel photos in this video and share some of them with you, but you won't be able to tell the difference. I can take a 200 megapixel photo right now. Let's take one right now. Let me clean off one of the best action cameras, and then I also have my GoPro Hero 13 Black. It's actually still in the car though, but I'm gonna take a 200 megapixel photo right here. And you're just gonna see. It's just about that detail. Look at how fast that shutter speed is. I mean, come on. That's a fast shutter speed for a 200 megapixel photo. And you look here, it's 13 megabytes. It's 16,320 by 12,240, 200 megapixel shot at f1.7. And you can see the ISO was at 320 and it's 23 millimeters. This is just, I mean, let me grab something else. Just kind of show you. Shout out to Zach, Jerry Rig everything. I could take this photo. I'm gonna do it on this side right here though. Get a really good photo of this. Actually, it's kind of a reflection on my light though. Oh yeah, I'm probably a little off camera, but I'm gonna show you what this looks like. That's a really fast shutter time. Now, you're viewing this saying, well, it just looks like a regular photo to me. I could print that photo right there, and I could print it, and it'll be crystal clear. You also have the option for 50 megapixels, and as you can see here, when you go from 50 to 200, I just want to point this out. There's no deep zoom you can actually do to make it better or whatever, but 50 megapixel, you got 5 times zoom. And then obviously with the 12, you get full array. You get your 1, your 3, your 5, your 10. And you can actually zoom in, like 200 times on this thing? 100. You zoom 100. I can zoom across the entire neighborhood and take a photo, and it's going to come out perfect. I think Samsung's cameras are slept on a lot. Because the software, some people are in love with Samsung's software suite, but I really, really, really like Samsung's camera suite. Their camera software is on point, man. It's just that good. I'm gonna take a picture of something that when you get older, you're gonna have to start doing this. Probably some of you guys already use it. Check this out. Actually, I'm gonna step off camera and I'm gonna take a portrait shot, just briefly. Bear with me. I can actually do it from here, and it comes out perfect. Let me see if I can get it to, there we go, ready. No, I'm gonna step away real quick. Just stay with me. Boom. It wants me to go further back, but I want to do it from here. And then look at that shot. Folks, that's crazy right there. That's just good freaking quality. Look at my hand, everything. Nothing's blurred the way I would want it in the wrong spot. Samsung's camera suite is on point, folks. Straight up, man. And phones like this, that's where I live. I live to use these cameras left and right. I could talk about the design. I can talk about the software. I can talk about, the hardware and everything. I can talk about the performance. But when I buy phones like this, I go straight to the cameras and I start using them to record on the channel or whatever I'm doing with it. And this phone, another thing about these cameras is in pro video, I don't need an external microphone. Even though this can plug in with an external microphone, I don't need an external microphone because I can control the mic right here and the gains right here. I can go front, rear, Bluetooth. I can do whatever I want to do with this, man. So that's a huge plus. Now, the fact that this phone can shoot 8K and 30 frames per second is a huge plus. Remember the previous generation that they had, it only did 24 frames per second or something like that, or 25, I believe. But this one can do 8K 30. I've done an 8K video before and it looks absolutely incredible, but it's not something that is that impressive to where, I'm just going to oh my gosh, Samsung has the best and I need to no one's going to be able to watch it. You know what I mean? So I've always talked about that. You can't even watch it because who has an 8K monitor? Said that a bunch of times. So the last thing I wanted to focus on in this was the battery life. The battery life on this phone is obviously, real small portion of this video, just to because when you use the camera, you're milking the battery. The battery is going to drain a lot faster than you normally would. So when you're using a phone like this, the cameras, if you have this phone and you're using it predominantly for cameras, you know that the battery life is going to squeeze a little bit more juice out of it when it's time to actually start using it. So for me, I wanted to follow with you guys on here. The battery life is great on here too. Even though I use the camera as much as I do, I don't charge this phone every day. I charge it I don't have to charge it when I charge it, but I just typically keep it at about 75 to 80%. That way, because when I'm going out to shoot or I'm doing something, I'll be able to make sure I got enough to where I'm not going to be out there. If I leave the house and I want to get some real footage done, they're just going to burn out too quick. I can shoot all day with this camera, and I can come home with 50% if it's on 100, because the camera really uses a lot of battery life. It heats the phone up real good, and that's something that people often ask me. And again, I started the video by letting you know there's no problems with this device. The camera heats up the phone, but not to the point to where it's uncomfortable to use. And that's what I wanted to tell you on that, man. I gotta tell you though, if you're not using a Samsung camera and you have a YouTube channel, some people still feel like this phone I'm using and these phones like this, and I'm saying this phone, remember this is being recorded with the iPhone 16 Pro. Some people still feel like that, the iPhones have the best video. I personally feel like they have great video, but in the only place they outshine, my 13 Pro Max will go nowhere. The only place these phones outshine Samsung is the HDR video. And I've said that since day one. I don't like the HDR video on Samsung's phones. They already oversaturate sometimes when they're using to record, depending on what you're doing. And so when you add HDR, it just doesn't come out right to me, in my opinion, not to my taste of using a camera for a vlog. So if you're not using a Samsung camera and you have a YouTube channel, I think you're missing out. You don't even have to get this camera, to be honest. You could get just the regular Galaxy S24, the small variant, and you'll still be able to record and do all the same things I do with this phone right here. But if you just want that 100 times zoom and those 200 megapixel photos, shoot for the fence. Get the Galaxy S24 Ultra. You will not be disappointed. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.